Can you hear me? It's tip-off weekend as we are set to start the 2013-2014 high school basketball season, the first of about 25 games this year here on 97.3 ESPN. We are courtside for tonight's Atlantic City Wildwood Catholic matchup. Mike Gill along with Buddy Tarbotten as we are set to bring you tonight's marquee matchup, Buddy, between Atlantic City and Wildwood Catholic. Many people think that these two teams could be two of the top 10 or top 5 maybe in all of South Jersey. And what better way to kick off our season with two of the best teams in the area tonight here at the Ocean City PBA Tip Off Weekend, which has already presented and provided some fireworks early.
Yeah, this is a great weekend that always has been. Tom Williams and his crew do a great job from Prime Events hosting this PBA Tip-Off Weekend, Mike. And boy, do we got a great game about ready to get underway here to cap off what's been a very exciting afternoon of basketball. And, this Wildwood Catholic Atlantic City game, a lot of anticipation in the preseason leading up to this game. We know Wildwood Catholic had this game circled because it's a measuring stick for the Crusaders. Wildwood Catholic coming into this would probably want to win this game a little bit more than Atlantic City, obviously because Atlantic City's got the back-to-back State 4 championships.
Well, Gene said it this morning on the South Jersey Sports Report. He said this game probably means more to them than it does to us. Tell us a little bit more about Wildwood Catholic. We have followed Atlantic City through their runs, but this is a team that brings back 5 starters off a very successful year. So they're out to prove something tonight.
Absolutely. And Mike, they know that they are one of the favored in the Cape Atlantic League and in South Jersey, non-public B this year to go far. They are ranked 8th in South Jersey. Atlantic City comes in at 4th. And they have one of the most dynamic players skill-wise in Jordan Robertson, the 6'4 senior, is a skywalker. And then Eddie McWade, the 6'4 lefty, the senior that plays down low. He gets the ball in the block. Normally, it's lights out. The kid is a finisher. And not only is he a very good basketball player, he's also one of the top students in the school.
Atlantic City in the home whites, Wildwood Catholic in the road blues. They move right to left as we are underway for the 2013-2014 Cape Atlantic League South Jersey High School basketball season. Wildwood Catholic gets the basketball. I'm all still in football mode a little bit there. It's tipped away, stolen already by the Vikings. They come left to right, down low to White. White kicks it out to Reynolds, and Reynolds cross court. Reynolds at the top of the key between the circles. Bounce pass to Thomas, who puts it down to Allen. Allen bounce pass to Thomas. Thomas to White with a left-hand short jumper, and McWade snaps down the rebound. And here comes Catholic. George Cook up the left sideline. Man-to-man defense trademark from the Vikings. Cook, defender hits the turf. Freeman puts the ball on the floor from the foul line, and it's good. The jumper is good by the big man, Clint Freeman.
And this kid is very deceptive, Mike. Clinton Freeman, he's 6'5", and he's built like a aircraft carrier, but he has got a sweet touch.
Back the other way, Allen with a nice entry pass from Lamar Thomas, and Kevin Allen is a key for this Vikings team. 2-2, 6:50 to play.
And again, good ball movement that time by the Vikings. They don't waste any time. They get the ball inside, and Allen finishes.
Robertson to McWade. McWade at the elbow. Spins, loses his footing, and they call traveling. So Wildwood Catholic, a little jittery, a little out of control early.
Yeah, that time McWade had a good idea. He tried to do a big spin dribble down the left side of the lane, but it's hard to make a move like that in that type of traffic. And he tripped and therefore called for the walk.
And Reynolds down low for Allen. Allen misses a chippy. White gets a rebound and misses it, and it goes out of bounds. And it will be Wildwood Catholic ball. The officials kind of discussing where that one was going. So Atlantic City with an empty possession. 2-2, 6:25 to play, first quarter.
And talking to both coaches, Wildwood Catholic wants to slow the tempo.
They speed it up with Robertson, who gets fouled by Dennis White.
And that's when you want to speed it up, when you pass ahead and you have a 2-on-1 opportunity. And that time Jordan Robertson challenged Dennis White, and drew the foul. That's going to be the first personal foul on White, first team foul against the Vikings.
And Robertson at the line for Wildwood Catholic. Connects on the first one. Jordan Robertson bending for his second, and it's good. So a pair of free throws for Robinson, 4-2 the score. Wildwood Catholic in the lead. Right down to Allen, layup, no good. Rebound McWade, and he's fouled.
Wow.
So a nice entry pass by Lamar Thomas, and they're really doing a good job of getting the ball. They've missed a couple chippies, Atlantic City.
And that's going to be 2 quick fouls, Mike, on Kevin Allen. The 6'3 junior now with 2 fouls. So he will be subbed out by head coach Gene Allen.
Brian Nolan in the game for Atlantic City as Wildwood Catholic gets Robertson.
Well, I said Wildwood Catholic obviously wanted to slow the tempo, but if Atlantic City's not going to get back on defense and give them those 2-on-1s, they're going to push the action.
So far, Atlantic City's pressure has not been very strong as Wildwood Catholic leads it 6-2 with 6:07 left to play in the first quarter. Mike Gill and Buddy Tarbot here at Ocean City PBA Tip Off Weekend. It's the first of a expanded schedule this year, and we'll tell you thanks to some of these people.
Are you dreaming about the Jersey Shore? Summer sun, crashing waves in the tram car? Ready to make those dreams a reality? Find your dream home at shorehomesnow.com. Let our real estate experts guide you through the buying or selling process. Expert advice, expert representation. Log on today. shorehomesnow.com. Making Jersey Shore dreams come true.
6:02 to play, first quarter. 6-2 Wildwood Catholic. Atlantic City with the ball. White on the block. Kicks it out for Graves. Graves with a head fake, and he's fouled. He draws Kevin McWade off his feet. Out on the floor between the circles, so Atlantic City will get the basketball back. They'll inbound it with Lamar Thomas on the near sideline.
Isaiah Graves back from those back-to-back state championship teams. Just a very heads-up play, Mike. A simple ball fake gets McWade up in the air. Kevin McWade, his first, team's first.
Graves in the corner, up top. Down low for White. White kicks it back up top for Reynolds. Reynolds with a straight-on three is short, no good, but White with the work. He gets the rebound. Now it's stripped away. Stripped by Cook. Cook goes coast to coast, and it's stripped out of his hands, and the ball's on the floor, and 2 Vikings come up with it. White gets it out into Reynolds' hands. This is Tashad Reynolds, not Deshaun Reynolds, who's now gone. Tashad Reynolds puts the ball on the floor. Left of the lane, kicks it out for Graves. At the paint for Nolan. Nolan a little up and under move. He gets it to go, but they wipe it off. He took steps in the paint. So Brian Nolan's bucket no good. It's 6-2 Wildwood Catholic.
And that's going to be the second turnover against the Vikings. 5:10 to go here in the opening quarter. It's Wildwood Catholic 6, Atlantic City 2.
And the Vikings have a little pressure, then they pull it off. Crossing the timeline, it is Cook to McWade at the elbow. Back to Cook. It's off his foot, and they're going to call Reynolds. Tashad Reynolds on a foul. That is the third foul on Atlantic City already with 4:59 left to play in the first quarter. A lot of action early. They got us. Come on, we're rookies at this. This is our first one of the year. Slow it down, baby.
Yeah, really. Tashad Reynolds picks up his first.
McWade goes baseline. He gets it stolen away on an entry pass. Graves with a no-look to White, and a left-hand layup is good. And Dennis White makes it 6-4.
And there again, Atlantic City doing a great job pushing the ball down the floor. Wildwood Catholic has to be aware of that, and they have to get back.
Cook goes to the basket, take it away to Nolan. Nolan with the layup, it's no good. And the rebound comes down to McWade. McWade to McWade, and now to Cook. Cook walks it across the timeline, 4:23 to play. First quarter, 6-4 Wildwood Catholic. Rolling off a screen. Freeman on the left wing. Freeman to Robertson. Robertson goes baseline. Now he spins back to Freeman. Freeman with a long three. In and out, no good. Rebound to Robertson. And he got fouled by Isaiah Graves, who's looking around saying, how do you call that on me? Graves was in the box out position, and Robertson just skied up over top of him. But the foul is on Graves.
Now, they're actually going to call that on Tashad Reynolds, number 5. So he must have been doubling down and reached. That will be his second, team's 4th. So now, right now, the Vikings with 2 starters with 4:06 to play here in the first quarter with a pair of fouls each.
Najee Wimbish into the game for Atlantic City. Brian Nolan takes a seat.
Jordan Robertson knocks down the first free throw.
Misses the second, so he's 3 for 4 from the line. In the corner, Thomas, loses the ball on the baseline, and they're going to call a foul, it looks like, on McWade. That will be Eddie McWade. Kevin McWade and Eddie McWade in the lineup for the Crusaders.
And Eddie McWade picks up his first, team's second.
Inbounding wide open down low to Prevard, who missed it. He actually gets it blocked by McWade. He gets his own rebound. Now there's a fight on the ground for it, and Cook comes out, and Cook gets called for steps. So Atlantic City gets the ball back. Prevard caught it right in the paint. It looked like he wasn't expecting to get that pass.
Absolutely. And that was great execution on their out-of-bounds play under their own basket. But Prevard just unable to finish.
Atlantic City inbounds. Lamar Thomas crosses the timeline, kicks it out for Prevard. Prevard, hand over his head. Back to Thomas. Now Prevard. Prevard doubled. Bounce pass down low to Wimbish. A 3 for Graves, and it's in and out, no good. And Freeman tries to get the rebound. It comes into the hands of White, and White puts it in. He's got 4, and the Vikings trail 7-6, 3:28 to play first quarter.
Good job that time by Dennis White, sticking with it. And he comes in. Look what I found, an early Christmas present for Dennis White. He makes it count.
Here's Cook crossing the timeline, D'd up by Graves. Graves with some pressure. Graves right in his face. Now Graves loses it to Freeman. Freeman loses the handle, and they get it to Thomas. Thomas outlet for Graves. Graves with a right-hand runner, and it's no good, but they're going to call offensive charging as standing in there is Ed McWade. Call could have gone either way.
Eddie McWade, they thought he had taken a charge on the previous call, but they got him for a block. There was no doubt about it that time. He was there in solid position, and Isaiah Graves, unable to use that body control to go around him, he draws his first, team's 5th.
McWade catches the inbound. Nice spin move to the basket, working on White, but it's no good short on the layup. Here comes Thomas. Nice dump off to Graves. Graves, the runner, good. The layup, and in transition, Atlantic City takes the lead 8-7.
And again, that's what Atlantic City wants to do. Talking to Coach Gene Allen, they want to push the ball up the floor and try and get baskets in transition.
Robertson crosses over to the foul line, into the paint, right-hand runner off short. Robinson gets his own, puts it on the floor one time, up and fouled, and Robertson back to the line for the 3rd time here in the quarter. Good job getting to the line. Working hard is Jordan Robertson.
And Jamil Prevard picks up his first, team's 6th. And as you said, Mike, Jordan Robertson making his 3rd trip to the charity stripe, and that one goes around and falls out.
3 for 5 for Robertson at the line so far.
Robertson did not have a good rotation on that shot.
Second one no good. Rebound snapped down by Prevard. Transition for the Vikings. Here comes Graves into the corner for Prevard. Back to Graves between the circles. Thomas down low on the block to Wimbish with a little scoop shot, no good. Wimbish can't get the rebound. McWade to McWade as they come back in transition to the Crusaders. Here comes Cook crossing the timeline. Cook right side up the baseline, and he goes into the forest and comes out with a free throw opportunity as Prevard gets some body. And Jameer Prevard, of course, the sophomore quarterback of the Vikings football team. A lot of these, these Vikings just transferring from football over. Wow, Catholic doesn't have that problem.
Yeah, no. They and the Vikings do a great job with a lot of these athletes playing multiple sports.
George Cook at the line. First of 2 is good.
Prevard,
17 fouls, for Atlantic City.
Prevard picks up his 2nd, and evidently he must have taken a shot to the nose as he is coming out, as he is holding his nose with both hands to try and cup the bleeding. He does not want to get that on his uniform.
Kitzito Shai into the game for Atlantic City. With 2:12 left to play, we're tied at 8 here in the first quarter. We saw Holy Spirit rout Pleasantville earlier today, and we saw the Prep with a nice win in the game right before this here. So we've seen a couple of Cape Atlantic League teams in action. We've also seen teams from around the area. It's been a good day.
Yes, and I'll tell you, Pemberton did a good job minutes to go, cut the lead to 3 with the ball and had a three-pointer rim in and out. And from that point on, at that point it was 56-53. Then St. Augustine regrouped and was able to put Pemberton away and come away with that victory.
Don't forget, you can watch live video of this game at 97.3ESPN.com. Matt Ulmer from Ulmer's Appliances in service in Ocean City, providing that live video on our website so you can watch AC and Wildwood Catholic. Isaiah Graves between the circles off the miss by Cook on the free throw. Graves loses the dribble, cross court to Thomas, back to Graves. Wimbish, Graves at the top of the key. Wimbish in the corner, bounce pass is stolen away by McWade. So McWade with a nice step in. We're under 2 to play in the first quarter.
And that'd be the 3rd turnover against Atlantic City here in the first quarter.
Kevin McWade on the right wing. Double teamed. Still with the ball. Bounce pass to Cook. Cook pulls it back out. Guarded by Graves. Graves with really good defense on Cook tonight. 1.5 minutes to play. Near steal by Thomas as McWade gets it into Robertson. Robertson at the elbow. Up to McWade at the top of the key. Bounce pass is stolen away. Here comes Graves. Trey Smith bounce pass was stolen away. Graves with an elbow jumper in transition is no good, and Kevin McWade with a rebound. Not a good shot there.
Now that time, Graves did not have a good look. He wasn't square to the basket and hurried it, and therefore he missed it.
Under a minute to play. McWade on the baseline. Bullet pass out to Cook for 3, and that's good.
And that was a very good look that time. Eddie McWade drove baseline, drew the defense to him, was able to find George Cook out on the right baseline beyond the arc, and Cook buries the 3 ball.
11-8, 38 seconds to play first quarter. Atlantic City trails with the ball. Looking for one as Wildwood Catholic is really extending a 2-3 here. Graves standing at about half court with the basketball on his right hip. Wimbish on the right wing.
11-8, coming up on 15 seconds. And this is right where the Wildwood Catholic wants to score. They want to try and keep this low scoring.
Graves spinning. Graves taking it to the basket. It's off his foot, and now he dumps it down low for Shayi in a basket. Off the right block, 11-10, and that's how we're going to end the first quarter. With the score, Wildwood Catholic 11 and the Atlantic City Vikings 10. High school basketball here on 97.3 ESPN at the Ocean City PBA Tip Off Weekend, buddy. And it looked like, as you just said, Wildwood Catholic had them right, Atlantic City right where they wanted them, and a little breakdown on that last play.
Well, Isaiah Graves does a good job getting some dribble penetration, and so much can be created off of that dribble penetration, Mike. The defense doubled him. He was forced to pick it up, kind of fumbled it a little bit, but with that defender that was on the Viking that was down low, which was Shayi, he was able to find him wide open, kick it to him, and he gets a layup to finish the quarter, and it's now 11-10. So good heads-up play by the 6'2 senior Isaiah Graves.
11-10, Wildwood Catholic leads this game in what has been kind of a sloppy first quarter, which is to be expected. Both teams kind of getting up and down, turning the ball over. Atlantic City played a game last night against Egg Harbor Township, and looking at the score of that game, probably not where you thought it might be for the two-time defending State 4 champions.
Well, that final ended up being 51-43, and Atlantic City was up at the half double digits. And then EHT came out and won the third quarter and the fourth quarter and made it a game and stayed competitive. And as you said, this is a big game. A game like that last night. The Vikings, with their experience, still could have been looking a little bit past that, knowing that they were the favorites into tonight's game, knowing they were going to be playing in front of this very large crowd.
Real big crowd on hand here at the Ocean City PBA Tip Off Weekend, presented by Prime Events. Been a good crowd all day. There's been games in and out of here all day.
And it's another great lineup tomorrow.
That's right. We'll get you that schedule coming up here at the Dixie Howe Memorial Gymnasium at Ocean. I had to park like 3 blocks. I didn't get the royal treatment, did you?
No.
Graves to start the second. Top of the key. Graves in the corner. And Thomas with a 3, no good. And it comes down for White. White puts it up. Back iron, no good. McWade, between 3 Vikings, comes out with it. Here comes Robertson in transition. Left of the lane, all the way to the hoop. Up and no good. The rebound comes down to Atlantic City. So Dennis White working hard on the boards. Here comes Lamar Thomas. Over for Graves. Graves goes baseline. Graves with a left-hand runner, good. And really good job by Graves to work his body there and get himself squared for that basket. 12-11 Atlantic City. Robertson on the left wing. Robertson gives up the dribble. Graves all over him. Smith between the circles with the left hand. Smith hands it off for Robertson. 7 minutes to play here in the second quarter. Cook. Cook with the left hand. Cook between the circles. Cook to the paint. McWade thinks about a three. Eddie McWade gets it bounced from behind him. There's a race for the ball. It'll stay with Wildwood Catholic. So Atlantic City's man-to-man defense now turning the heat up.
Well, they're bringing that pressure out, Mike. They're not sitting back. They're pressuring Wildwood Catholic on every dribble, and evident right there, the Crusaders could not get into their offense.
Trey Smith inbounds, gets it to Freeman. Freeman looking to give it to anybody.
Yeah.
Gets it to Cook. Cook crosses the timeline. Stared down by Prevard, who had a little bit of a nosebleed there. He's back in the game. Freeman at the right elbow. Puts it on the floor. Goes base on it. It's blocked away by Dennis White, but they're going to get a body foul first. Actually, they're going to call Freeman for a charge.
Yes, they're going to get Clinton Freeman for an offensive foul, saying he barreled over the Viking. That will be Freeman's first, the team's third. 6:30 to play here in the second quarter. It's 12-11, the Vikings on top.
Thomas playing catch up top with Graves. Graves thought about it. Thomas high over his head, down to Shai, and it's lost, stolen away. Robertson saved it, gets it to Cook. Cook gets it up to McWade. McWade, a big scorer for this team. Been held in check, puts the ball on the floor, spins to the basket. A foul on the floor first, and they get Isaiah Graves. We saw Isaiah Graves in that run last year, buddy. This is a guy who will pull up from three-quarters court. We haven't seen him get in that rhythm yet offensively, but he's been pretty pressuring defensively.
Absolutely, and he's showing his athleticism. And again, he's a senior, Mike, and he doesn't show that frustration. He knows he's letting the game come to him. He's letting the game come to him. And McWade has yet to score, and he misses that one-and-one.
12-11.
And Wildwood Catholic has now missed 5 straight free throws, including their last 2 attempts were the front ends of one-and-ones.
Graves and Thomas playing catch. Here's Brevard. Back to between the circles. Graves puts it on the floor. 5:50 to play. They lead by 1 with the basketball. Brevard back to Graves. There's the long three. Back iron no good. And Freeman fights with it. McWade comes down with it. And now McWade throws a baseball pass into the hands of Graves. So Graves comes right back the other way with it. 5:33 to play in the first half. Graves swings it to Brevard, and Brevard gets bodied up on his way to the baseline, and that'll be on Eddie McWade. And you wonder if he's starting to get a little frustrated.
Well, good point. I mean, he has yet to score. He picks up his second personal foul. It's going to be the team's 4th. And before the game, Mike, getting the opportunity to talk to Coach Allen, Gene Allen from Atlantic City, he said one of the keys for them was to contain Eddie McWade. And they have done a very good job here so far.
And he takes a seat. Kevin McWade in for Eddie McWade. Atlantic City down low for for White. Now a 3-ball on the way. It's launched up from way downtown by Thomas, and the rebound comes down for Robertson. 12-11 Atlantic City leads. Wildwood Catholic with the ball. 5:08 to play in the half. Cook comes off the screen. Cook looking to give up the basketball. Gets it to McWade. McWade at the 5-minute mark. Smith thought about it, now leaves it for McWade too much. Here comes Graves, 3-on-2. Graves takes it himself with a nice finger roll in, and Graves has 6, and the Vikings lead it by 3, 14-11.
And that's a 6-0 run right now for Atlantic City. It was 11-8. Atlantic City scored the final 2 of the first quarter, and they've started this second quarter scoring 4. Wildwood Catholic yet to score.
That's
here
right.
In the second quarter.
And Freeman does a good job getting to the line. A little ball fake, gets 2 Vikings off their feet. So now the double. Actually, no, 9 team fouls for Atlantic City. He was in the act right there. So Clinton Freeman at the line to shoot 2. He's got 2 points on the evening. And Freeman's first one is good. He walked up before the game and asked me where he played football. I said, Wildwood Catholic doesn't have a football team. Atlantic City could use them.
Yeah, a lot of teams could use them.
First one is good. Break that scoring or scoreless drought.
First point of the second quarter for the Crusaders.
Second one is good. For a big gentleman, he's got a big, nice touch.
Yes, he does.
14-13.
He shoots the ball feathery soft. And that was Kizito Shai's first personal. And as you said, 9th team foul against Atlantic City.
Thomas, Graves, Pavard playing catch at the top of the key. Back to Graves. Graves between the circles.
And again, Wildwood Catholic in that 2-3.
And it's knocked out of bounds by Freeman. Stays with the Atlantic City. We've been looking at just 2-3 really extended zone.
Mike, you said that at the end of the first quarter. As Atlantic City tries to work the ball around the perimeter, Wildwood Catholic brings the zone out further.
Pavard with the baseball pass to inbound it to Thomas. Thomas catches on the wing over to Pavard. Pavard back to Thomas. Thomas calling out a play with 4 minutes to play. Kicks it in the corner to Graves. Now Pavard. Pavard puts it on the floor once, then leaves it for White, and it's stolen away. Smith to Robertson. Robertson to the paint with the right-hand jumper is no good, and he leaves it short. McWade kicks it out. Kevin McWade kept it alive. Robertson for 3. He shoots it long, and the rebound comes down to Thomas. Thomas with no numbers, but he's going to take it all the way recklessly to the basket. He gets it to fall, but he's called for a charge as he just took on all comers. Recklessly was the word, though.
Yeah, but they're actually going to give him the bucket, and they call that foul on Clinton Freeman. They're going to get him for a reach.
The official called an offensive foul on that initially.
And what they're getting is they're getting Clinton Freeman. They're saying in his help side he reached. So that's going to be his second, team's 5th. And Thomas knocks down
I thought the official called an offensive foul on that, the way he emphatically kind of pumped that way. But they did call, he was calling for the basket to be good is what he was doing.
And Mike, Wildwood Catholic might need a timeout. They've been outscored in this period 7-2. Atlantic City's on a 9-2 run.
And they have no field goal.
Exactly.
Robertson, who almost carried it right there, to McWade. McWade in the corner, a long 3 for Smith. That's off the back iron, no good. And a good box out by Chaillet and a foul on the box out. So that's a frustration foul.
Now Clinton Freeman, just like that, picks up 2 quick ones. Now that's his third personal foul, 6th team foul. Trey Smith, the freshman, the 5'11 freshman, showing no freshman jitters as he pulled up from Gene Allen's lap to try that 3, did not go down.
Garrett Moretti's in the game for the first time, along with Malcolm Darby for Wildwood Catholic. So a couple changes for the Crusaders. White goes right after Moretti. They found where they want to go now. This is where the veteran White can really start doing. You got a starter against a guy who doesn't have a lot of experience.
Well, you have 6'5 and 6'4. You got Freeman and McWade now out of the game on the bench. Freeman with 3, McWade with 2. 3:06 to play here in the first half. Atlantic City up 17-13. And Dennis White trying to add to that.
No good. So Dennis White, one of the top returners, coming back for this Atlantic City Viking team. Brian Nolan checked in. Well, Brian Nolan's brother played a mean center field for me.
Oh, yeah?
Liam Nolan, who went to Spirit. It's an odd thing where these Ventnor Margate kids, they either, they go to different high schools like that. Here's Brian Nolan, who went to Spirit, now at AC. Now he's coming off the bench. Rebound off the miss, no good. Atlantic City gets it, keeps it alive. And a long 3 by Thomas is no good. Rebounded by Moretti. And here come the Crusaders. 17-13, they trail with the basketball. 2:52 to play, and it looked like they lost the ball on that, right on the baseline there is
Malcolm.
George Cook just slipped and lost it.
He tried to pass that ball to the left wing to Malcolm Darby, and as you said, he slipped during the pass, and the ball just sailed out of bounds.
It's kind of hard to see down this baseline. I apologize.
Well, we got Mount Popper sitting here in front of us.
17-13, Atlantic City leads with the ball. Pavard, Thomas. Pavard back to Thomas. Putting it on the floor one time. Back to Thomas at the top of the key. Here's Graves for three. Short, no good. Rebound Robertson, and he snaps it down. The outside shooting tonight, less to be desired.
Yes, right now Atlantic City is 0 for 7 from beyond the arc.
Cook hands to McWade. Bounces back to Cook. Cook between the trees. Lays it up. It's short. And there's a foul on the play, and it looks like Jameer Pavard whistled.
And Pavard will pick up his third. The team has been at the 10 foul limit. 2:15 to go here in the first half. Atlantic City 17, Wildwood Catholic 13. The Crusaders have yet to score a field goal here in quarter number 2.
Cook no good from the free throw line. Don't forget, live video over at 97.3ESPN.com. Matt Ulmer's up in the bird's nest shooting that video from Matt Ulmer's Appliance Services in Ocean City.
Always does a great job.
Cook makes the second one.
Games will always be available, too, for the players to watch via video later on.
Nice look here from Pavard for three in the deep corner.
Wow.
Cans it right in front of us here. Pavard for three. So just when we talked about the outside shooting, Pavard steps up and makes one. 2014 Atlantic City.
Right in front of us, as you said. What great form.
Robertson takes it to the hole, and there's a whistle out on the perimeter here. And it looks like Isaiah Graves is going to be called for a foul. So now it's a double bonus for Wildwood Catholic with a minute 50 here. They have not been able to get a field goal in this quarter.
Still, three free throws, and they have not been shooting the free throw very well.
Robertson, back iron, no good.
And
He's
Jordan,
3 in a row he's missed now.
4 in a row. He's now 3 of 7. Wildwood Catholic just struggling at the foul line after starting the game off 3 for 3.
Second one no good, ripped down by White. And here comes the Vikings. You know, Atlantic City, regardless of whether they have that star player, they're still going to play ridiculous defense.
Yeah, absolutely, Mike. And that is a staple of Coach Gene Allen.
Tashad Reynolds dribbling, allowing that clock to tick. Here's Pavard back to Reynolds. Tashad Reynolds got a lot of minutes last year as part of that team that won a state championship. He's got Kevin Allen, Dennis White, Brian Nolan, and Jameer Pavard on the floor with 1:18 to play.
And Atlantic City's going to be content
Sure.
just to hold the ball as Wildwood Catholic sits in this 2-3. They're
Maybe
up
we
6.
should go to the room and get another bite to eat.
They've outscored the Crusaders 10-3 here in the second quarter. It sounds like a plan.
1 minute to go.
Although I don't think we'd get any food past Mountain Popper.
Pavard jumper no good. There's Brian Nolan with the putback, and that is good. So Brian Nolan with his first 2.
And that's unexcusable. That's a weak side rebound.
Robertson kicks it out. Cook. Moretti hits the turf. And there's a scramble on the floor, and Nolan comes up with it. With 36 seconds, Nolan hands it off. So Atlantic City has a chance for a 1. So Nolan has come in and given the Vikings some good minutes in his second run here.
He's given them a lot of energy. And, you know, he was the recipient of that weak side rebound, that easy 2, because he continues to move and play hard.
Pavard standing on the right wing, looking for the pass as Reynolds is going to get called for, a 5-second against them as McWade and Cook putting the pressure on. So they turn it over with 10 seconds left, and now Eddie McWade and Clint Freeman back in the game to try to get that elusive first field goal. In this second quarter, Wildwood Catholic yet to score a bucket. McWade with the basketball, 9 seconds, hands it off for Cook. 7 seconds, Cook with the right hand. Cook hands it off for Kevin McWade with 2. McWade looks, and it is in and out. No good, and Atlantic City will go into the halftime with a 22-14 8-point lead here at the Ocean City PBA Tip Off weekend here on 97.3 ESPN. Mike Gill and Buddy Tarbotten bringing you what has been kind of a sloppy game so far, but Atlantic City's defense, I think, has been the difference.
Absolutely, Mike, especially, not to point out the obvious, but in that second quarter, they held Wildwood Catholic without a field goal. The Crusaders were able to just manage 3 free throws, and they struggled mightily at the line, and therefore they trail by 8. And again, that Atlantic City defense, pressuring the ball, coming out on Wildwood Catholic, forcing them to put the ball on the floor to try and get some dribble penetration or shoot off the dribble, not allowing the Crusaders to get their feet set and get good, clean looks at the basket. And then when Clinton Freeman picks up that 3rd foul, Eddie McWade picks up his 2nd foul, the 2 big guys, 6'5", 6'4", they have to come to the bench. That opened up the inside game, and Atlantic City took advantage of that immediately. So, it was 11-10 after the first period, Wildwood Catholic on top, and now it was actually 11-8 at one point. So Atlantic City on a 14-3 scoring run to go into the locker room here at the half.
Speaking of Atlantic City, earlier this morning on the South Jersey Sports Report with our own Tyler Donahue, we got the opportunity to catch up with Atlantic City head coach Gene Allen. And here is that conversation with the coach of the Vikings, Gene Allen, from this morning's South Jersey Sports Report. 14, the Vikings lead the Crusaders. A full set of games this year on 97.3 ESPN with the help of some of these people.
With nearly 30 years of experience, David DeWeese is an attorney who has handled matters ranging from traffic violations to criminal defense, from business formation to complex insurance litigation. In every case, he provides effective representation and makes himself accessible to clients from start to finish. The DeWeese Law Firm understands that your legal matter, whether large or small, is vitally important to you. To contact, call the DeWeese Law Firm now for your free initial consultation and make your next case a slam dunk. 609-522-5599 or www.deweeselawfirm.com.
Back to second half action. Atlantic City with the basketball. They almost turn it over. Then they get it down into the block to Allen. Allen misses the chippy, and then a rebound by White, and he loses it. And it goes back to Wildwood Catholic. 22-14. Atlantic City leads Wildwood Catholic here at Ocean City PBA Tip Off Weekend. We'll get to some of the stats.
And Mike, the first 3 minutes of this third quarter are going to be very critical for Wildwood Catholic. They did not have a field goal, as we said, in that entire second quarter, and there's a turnover.
Atlantic City gets the turnover, and they get the layup. It's an easy layup, miss, and the rebound comes down to White, and White puts it back in as Tashad Reynolds missed a chippy there. You know, Wildwood Catholic did not score a basket in the second quarter, and they trail by 10 all of a sudden. You know, the big stats so far that we saw, buddy, was the McWade's no points in the first half.
Absolutely, and that's what Coach Gene Allen for Atlantic City, one of his keys was to take Eddie McWade out of the game, and for the first 16 minutes he was able to do that. You know, Wildwood Catholic shot just 25% from the floor in that first half and just 46% from the foul line. That does not spell winning basketball.
Yeah, McWade gives up the ball to Freeman. Freeman spins, turns, high off the glass, and Clint Freeman says, all right, I'll take some matters into my own hand. He gets two.
Well, he catches that ball down on that left block, and then when that happens, Mike, good things will happen for the Crusaders, as we just saw.
24-16, Atlantic City leads with the ball. Thomas down on the block for White. White with a left-hand spinner, no good, and McWade gets a rebound. Empty possession for Atlantic City. 6:34 to play in the third quarter. Here comes Cook. Up to McWade. McWade between the circles. Puts it on the floor at the elbow. Then he gives up the dribble. McWade looking. Gets it to Robertson. Robertson back to McWade between the circles. 6:19. McWade spins with a nice drive to the hoop. Left hand layup is good, and Ed McWade has his first two. It's 24-18, a 4-0 run.
And that time, no help side there in the back of that defense for Atlantic City. That lane opened up like the Red Sea, and McWade took advantage.
Allen with a short jumper, and we say short at air ball. McWade comes down with his sixth rebound. McWade back to McWade, and now they're going to slow the tempo. 5.5 minutes to play here in the third quarter. Kevin McWade to Ed McWade, baseline, and he loses the handle, and he took steps, and he turns it over. So the turnover by Ed McWade with 5:46 to play here in the third quarter.
And that will be the 12th turnover against Wildwood Catholic. They turned it over 11 times in that first half.
Ooh.
Atlantic City out-rebounded the Crusaders 18-13 with Dennis White leading the way with 9 boards. He led all rebounders in that first half.
Thomas in the corner, back up top for Reynolds. Down on the block for Allen. Allen shot is short. He gets his own rebound. Now he fights for it with Freeman, and they're going to call a jump ball, and the arrow faces Atlantic City. So Allen trying to get himself going. He's got 5 points, but a couple of short jumpers. They inbound the ball to Allen. Allen at the top of the key. Bounce pass, but puts it on the floor, does Graves. Then Graves puts it on the floor to Thomas, but he took steps on the way to the baseline, and Atlantic City turns it over. 5:17 to play in the third. Atlantic City 24, Wildwood Catholic 18. McWade inbounding to McWade.
And that was Atlantic City's 6th turnover. Vikings did a good job in the first 16 minutes of taking care of the rock.
Freeman back to McWade. This is Ed McWade between the circles. Gets it to Kevin McWade. McWade at the foul line. Bounce pass to Cook. Cook bounce pass to McWade at the left elbow, and it's nearly stolen away. Under 5 to play in the third. McWade spins, working on Graves. A left-hand jumper, no good, and it goes out of bounds over the back of Freeman, and Allen knocked it out of bounds. It'll stay with Wildwood Catholic.
George Cook had the ball on the left side, and Clinton Freeman had the defender on his back. And there, Cook has got to recognize and get a good lob pass to Freeman because there was nothing to stop Freeman from scoring the ball.
And Cook inbounded, and he turned it over. He tried to force it into McWade, but then it's knocked out of bounds, and they're going to say it's off Atlantic City last. It'll go right back to Wildwood Catholic, so a little sloppy play in the last minute.
So and now again, Wildwood Catholic with another opportunity to cut into this lead. They trail by 6. Be the third time, that they've had the ball down 24-18.
And McWade almost went over the sideline. He gets it into Robertson.
Well, again, that Viking defense did a good job of taking away passing options.
Knocked out of bounds, stays with Wildwood Catholic. 4:34 to play, 24-18. Wildwood Catholic leads it.
Jordan Robertson.
Atlantic City leads it.
Jordan Robertson's got to do a better job of taking care of the basketball.
Here comes Cook. Cook double teamed, and he throws it out to McWade. McWade runs it down. He's playing a little bit more perimeter here in the second half. McWade hands it off to Cook. Cook at the foul line. Now a long three for Robertson. Front rim no good. Rebound off the foot of Reynolds, but a foul off the ball as Kevin Allen hit the deck. We'll see who they call that on.
They call that on Eddie McWade, Mike, and that's going to be his third. Jordan Robinson shot that 3-ball from the Parkway. I hope he had easy pass because that was definitely a toll shot.
He did take a long one there. Here comes Thomas. Thomas crosses the timeline with 4 minutes to play. Thomas taking it all the way to the basket. He kicks it out for Nolan. Nolan with a 3. It's back iron, no good. Rebound, Thomas. Front rims it in. And Lamar Thomas has his first 2 and 4 in the quarter for the Vikings now. They lead at 26-18 and nearly turned it over to McWade. He gets it to McWade. Now McWade crosses the timeline. Gets it up for Robinson. Dribbles it all the way to Freeman now. And Freeman on the block. Gets it blocked from behind by Nolan. The ball's on the floor and Nolan on the floor. And it looks like Atlantic City got a timeout as Nolan blocked the shot, then dove on the floor and called timeout. Heady play.
Yeah, absolutely. And there was a lot of banging let go underneath. And are you daydreaming about the Jersey Shore? Summer sun, crashing waves, and the tram car. Ready to make those dreams a reality? Find your dream home at shorehomesnow.com. Let our real estate experts guide you through the buying or selling process. Expert advice, expert representation. Log on today, shorehomesnow.com. Making Jersey Shore dreams come true.
26-18, Atlantic City in the lead over Wildwood Catholic. A lot of people thought this could be a potential Game of the Year candidate. Hasn't really been a clean Game of the Year, but we might get a good finish as it's been a pretty tightly contested battle. Atlantic City of Atlantic County, Wildwood Catholic of Cape May County, when the two counties collide for supremacy. Thomas loses the handle momentarily, kicks it over to Graves. Here's Thomas back in the corner for Allen. Bounce pass down low. Tried to get it into White on the entry pass, and it was kicked.
Yeah, it's been a rather physical game, and as you said, it hasn't been the most smoothly or finesse type of basketball game. But one thing, both teams are playing very, very hard.
Atlantic City with Nolan. Bounce passes to White, back to Graves. Graves, dribble drive to the basket, up off the glass, and a body foul on Wildwood Catholic.
And that's going to be a very big one, Mike. That is the 4th personal foul on the 6'4" senior, number 41, Eddie McWade. His 4th, 3:12 to go here into the third quarter. Graves will go to the line shooting 2. And he misses the first one.
Take a seat too.
And in comes the freshman, Trey Smith. So we go 5'11" subs in, 6'4" subs out, senior out, freshman in.
The second one no good. Rebound comes down to Allen, who puts it up. And a foul on Allen going over the back. So he gets the rebound, but he's called for the foul. Don't forget live video of this game streaming on our website live at 973ESPN.com. Olmer's Appliance Service of Ocean City, streaming live video of Atlantic City Wildwood Catholic and our full schedule this year at 973ESPN.com. So make sure you bookmark that. For all of our games, our schedule will be up on 973ESPN.com. Robertson takes the ball to the basket and a whistle. Lamar Thomas whistled for the foul for Atlantic City. That's his first foul. It's going to send Thomas to the line. Or excuse me, Wildwood Catholic will inbound right at the basket. Cook will inbound.
Thomas picks up his first, team's third here in the second half.
To Robertson on the inbound. Here's Smith. Smith working on Nolan. Smith behind the back. Gets a screen. Now he gives up the dribble. Looking for help. Gets it down for McWade. McWade spins baseline. Bounce pass to Freeman. Freeman puts it on the floor. And he loses the handle. Just flat out lost the handle. It's going to be Atlantic City basketball. Well, Atlantic City leads 26-18. Wildwood Catholic scored no field goals in the second quarter. They've been held to 2 field goals here in the third quarter. Defensively, Atlantic City has dominated this game.
And they've been able to extend that pressure, and that has given Wildwood Catholic fits out on that perimeter.
Nolan to Reynolds, and Reynolds' pass is stolen away by Smith, and it's going to be a foul on Isaiah Graves, and Isaiah Graves not happy with the foul. So Trey Smith steps in the passing lane, creates the turnover, and Wildwood Catholic gets the ball back with 2:28 to play. They trail at 26-18. Here's Robertson.
Isaiah Graves picks up his third, team's fourth.
Cook at the elbow for Freeman. Freeman looking around, looking for some help. Now he dribbles out one time and gives the ball to Cook. Cook, right of the lane, all the way to the basket, blocked away by Tashad Reynolds, but a body on that. They're going to get him the foul.
And Tashad Reynolds picks up his fourth. So now, Mike, both teams getting into a little bit of foul trouble with some of their starters. Reynolds with 4, Allen and Graves with 3 each for the Vikings. Eddie McWade on the bench now with 4. Clinton Freeman on the floor with those 3.
First one no good. As Kevin Allen jumps back in the game for Isaiah Graves. And Graves 6 points for Atlantic City.
And I'll tell you what, Wildwood Catholic comes up short. The free throw shooting is going to be such a sore subject in that locker room.
Yeah, Cook just made the second one, but he missed the first. 26-19, Pavard. Here's Pavard to Nolan. Nolan puts it on the floor. Nolan bounce pass to Allen, who lays it in. Yes. So Kevin Allen, a little wish to get that one to fall. 28-19, biggest lead of the night for the Vikings. Smith to the paint, kicks it out. Robertson up top for McWade. McWade between the circles. McWade puts it on the floor, spins, and loses the handle. Pavard with the steal. Nolan with the entry and up, and a little layup, no good. Robertson, as the layup gets contested late at the end there. Robertson clears the rebound, right of the lane, all the way to the hoop, up and good. So there's a take by Jordan Robertson, and he's got his first 2 since the first quarter.
And Jordan Robertson's going to have to start to assert himself offensively, Mike. He's one of the premier players in South Jersey, and he has got to start taking on that responsibility to get his team back in the game.
Pavard's 3 is long, but Dennis White with the rebound. And this is where Dennis White kind of controls this game. He had 9 first-half rebounds, and he is the difference so far for Atlantic High.
Absolutely, and he now has 12 rebounds. 57 seconds to go here in this third quarter. Atlantic City on top, 28-21, and Dennis White looking to expand upon that lead. However, he misses the first free throw. He is now 0 for 3 from the charity stripe.
Dennis White at the line. This is the second So White struggling from the line.
Now, Atlantic City's 1 for 7 from the foul line.
So both teams will look at the line if they lose. McWade to Robertson. Robertson going right back to work. To Freeman. Freeman gets it blocked away. Nolan got a hand on it. And they're going to whistle somebody for a foul. Looks like they might get Nolan. No, they get White. Nolan came from the backside. He got all ball. It sounded like you could hear the ball there.
Yeah, it was a big pump fake. And the lead official passed on it. The call was made by the C, which is the official in the center of the floor.
Here's Clint Freeman at the line.
And truthfully there, Mike, that might have been the C's call. Might have came in a little bit late, but he had probably the best look down at that. And the lead official was looking in the proper area, not there.
Second one for Freeman is good. So Clint Freeman perfect from the line tonight. Makes it a 28-23 game. So Atlantic City had its biggest lead. Now it's a 5-point game all of a sudden with 38 seconds left to play in the third quarter. Atlantic City with the basketball. Here comes Thomas, Lamar Thomas.
Wildwood Catholic checks. They substitute for Clinton Freeman with those 3 fouls to get him out for the last 35 seconds here of the third period.
Thomas staring at a 2-3 defense. 25 seconds. Wildwood Catholic clapping to try to get their defense to get a hold in the final 20 seconds.
Good substitution. Good substitution that time by Coach DeWeese.
Thomas dribbling, staring him down. Now he makes a move. Kicks it out. Brevard back to Thomas. Thomas puts it on the floor to the basket. Up and good.
Wow, what a tough move. What a great shot.
Lamar Thomas has all 4 here in the third. Atlantic City 30. Wildwood Catholic 23 here on opening night at Tip Off Classic weekend at Ocean City High School. Atlantic City 30 and Wildwood Catholic 23 here on 97.3. It's been a interesting game where you look at the box score here and you're like, man, Wildwood Catholic didn't even score in the second quarter, a field goal and a lot of missed free throws, but they're hanging around.
Absolutely, and the Crusaders are doing as you said, they're hanging around. They're down 7. They were down 8 at the half. Atlantic City, when it looks like they might get a little momentum and try and take control and maybe put Wildwood Catholic away, they are unable to do so. But Wildwood Catholic, again, has got to do a better job. And it's easy for us to sit here and say that offensively, down the offensive end. But as you had hit on earlier, Mike, Atlantic City, the Vikings are really bringing that half-court pressure. They're pushing Wildwood Catholic out offensively. They're making the Crusaders catch the ball in spots where they're not comfortable. They're not getting good looks. They're not getting good passing lanes. And sometimes people just don't understand. They're looking at it. The game looks easier when you're sitting in the stands or you're listening to it on the radio or watching online. It's not that simple when you have the defensive tenacity that this Vikings club has. They are really getting at it, and they're pushing Wildwood Catholic out and taking the Crusaders out of what they like to do.
And Atlantic City also, as you mentioned, not shooting well from the free throw line either, so this has not been the prettiest game for them either, even though they lead by 7. Wildwood Catholic with the basketball to start the fourth quarter. They move left to right in the all blue tonight here in Ocean City. The tip-off weekend, which the schedule on our website, 973ESPN.com. Full set of games tomorrow. McWade to McWade. McWade between the circles with 4 fouls. Doesn't want to catch one on the offensive side of the ball. He dives on the floor, and McWade calls timeout. So we lost the handle. Dove called timeout. So Wildwood Catholic will keep it, but again, Atlantic City comes right out with the pressure. They lead 30-23 with 7:40 left to play.
And what happens there, as you just said, Atlantic City starts the fourth quarter coming out and pressuring the Wildwood Catholic offense, forcing them again out of sync. They're not catching the ball where they like to catch it, where they need to catch it to execute. So they're off bounds. And that time Eddie McWade, put the ball on the floor, and then he lost control. And in his attempt to recover it, there's 2 things that could have happened. One, he could have been called for a foul because he kind of dove across the Atlantic City player. or he could have been called for a travel, and therefore it would have been a turnover. But fortunately, he was able to retain possession. A teammate was able to call a timeout. Wildwood Catholic had yet to use a timeout in tonight's basketball game. That's the first one that they have called. They have 4 left with 7:37 to play, and it's 30-23, Atlantic City on top.
Here we go with Cook, handing off to McWade. McWade to the elbow, gives it up for Robertson. Robertson puts it on the floor, double team, back out to McWade. McWade with the 3, it's blocked by Graves. McWade with the rebound, though, as Graves just got a fingertip on it. Now Robertson has to save it, and he throws it right to Graves. 2-on-1. Thomas, Graves, Graves with a layup, no good. McWade comes down with the rebound, and Lamar Thomas connects with an elbow to the head, and that's a foul in most countries.
Yeah, and that's going to send Eddie McWade. That was going to send McWade on a 90-foot walk to the free throw line, as it will be the 7th team foul on the Vikings, putting the Crusaders in the 1-and-1. Second personal foul on Lamar Thomas, the 5'10 sophomore. McWade now going to the line. Yep. He is 0 for 1. He has just 2 points in tonight's basketball game.
I think they're expecting more offensive output from him this season.
Absolutely.
He misses, and the rebound comes down to, of course, Dennis White.
Well, he's the type of player, he typically averages 17, 18 points a game, Mike.
Nolan with Graves in the backcourt, and Nolan loses the handle and he gets it to Graves. Graves almost in backcourt violation. Graves puts it on the floor to Nolan. Back to Graves, 6:50 to play. Graves at the foul line, left-hand runner, no good rebound, and it might have got a piece by Freeman. Here comes the Crusaders. Over to Robertson. Robertson splitting down the middle, and a foul. It's going to be an offensive foul as Dennis White steps in there and takes the charge. I'll tell you what, between Atlantic City and Wildwood Catholic, I figured the crowd would be more lively tonight. It's a little quiet in here.
Well, and you know what? It's, again, that type of game that's being played. It's kind of, I don't want to say lulled the crowd to sleep, but that could be the case.
That's the kind of play that can get it going. It's a scoop shot by Graves. He misses it, but gets his own rebound and gets it to go. And Isaiah Graves has 2 more. 8 points for Graves. Vikings lead it by 9.
That last foul was Jordan Robertson's first, team's 4th.
McWade, excuse me, this is Robertson to McWade. Now over to Ed McWade. Now he thought about a 3, put it on the floor, and he double dribbled. Went up, saw that White came out and defended, didn't want to take the shot, and he just kind of gave up the dribble.
You can't do that. And that will be
frustration.
The frustration, absolutely. And, you know, in a position like that, let your shot get blocked. It's going to go out of bounds. You retain possession.
6:03 to play.
But that wasn't the case, and that's the 15th turnover against Wildwood Catholic.
Here's Graves with the left hand, short, rebound McWade. So Graves has been getting to the basket, and McWade turned it over again. Update that turnover tally.
16 turnovers now for Wildwood Catholic.
16 turnovers for the Crusaders.
And Atlantic City has turned it over just 7 times.
Which is kind of uncharacteristic of them, too. Here comes White with a left hand, no good, rebound. Nolan loses it. Now it's on the floor. Nolan's in there. Nolan seems to be in on everything.
I'll tell you what, again, he's playing with a lot of energy off of that bench. Coach Allen has got to be very happy with the minutes he's getting from the 6'2 senior, Brian Nolan.
Nolan inbounds. Trigger man into Allen. Mike Gill and Buddy Tarbot here on 97.3 ESPN. And if you're watching online at 97.3ESPN.com from Matt Ulmer from Ulmer's Appliance, the video. And, of course, if you saw the video, Graves gets the shot blocked by Smith. Here comes Cook. Cook splits down the middle. Now he kicks it to Robertson. Robertson, 3-ball on the way. Good from the corner. Robertson with 3. And now it's a 32-26 game. Here we go down the stretch with 5:15. Thomas leaves it for White, who thought about a little jumper. Now he gets it out to Nolan. Now over to Graves. Graves to Nolan in the corner. Nolan brings it to the top of the key. I'll tell you what, this door open behind me feels great.
Absolutely.
Here comes the dribble drive for Thomas, and he's fouled way out on the floor. And here we go, the final 5 minutes on opening night for, well, the tip-off. These teams played, Atlantic City played last night. Wildwood Catholic, their opener. Lansing looking to be 2-0.
And that foul will be on George Cook, his first, team's fifth.
You get that breeze every so often. Beautiful.
60-some degrees out today. The official first day of winter.
Could have played this on the 6th Street courts down here.
Absolutely.
Thomas with a little runner, and it falls. So Lamar Thomas has 6. He does all his damage in the second half, and a holding foul. No flag on the play, but still a hold. Lamar Thomas with the bucket and then the foul.
And so Thomas, yes.
1-1.
Thomas, as you said, he scores the basket, then comes right back with an aggressive defensive attempt. Picks up his 3rd foul. It's going to be the 8th foul against the Vikings, but Wildwood Catholic has got to start making free throws down the stretch to try and get back in this game.
George Cook has gone 1 of 2 every trip to the line. He makes the first.
One of the things, obviously, when you're trailing, Mike, you want to get to the foul line because it stops the clock and gives you the opportunity to put points on the board. But if you're not making your free throws, they're wasted opportunities.
Second opportunity for Cook. It's good. So he connects on a pair, 34-28, 4:36 to play. Here we go.
Now, Wildwood Catholic obviously needs a defensive stop. They extend that 2-3 zone. Atlantic City just needs to be patient.
Lamar with the basketball, puts it on the floor. Over to Graves. Actually, that was Reynolds. Now Graves loses it. Graves locks it out of bounds, and it's going to go to Wildwood Catholic. That might not have been the best call, but Graves lost the handle. He can't lose the handle there. He's a senior dribbling out on the perimeter, and he can't lose the handle here.
And Isaiah Graves not happy with the call either. George Cook did a good job initially of picking his pocket. However, Graves thought he was able to retain possession.
Robertson with a spin to the right elbow, right of the lane, all the way to the hoop. If this was the NBA, he'd get a chance for a three-point play.
Absolutely.
But not at the high school level. Give him the chance, man.
That's a big foul there as Isaiah Graves picks up his 4th. And it's going to send Robertson to the line for a 1-and-1. Jordan started the night off making his first 3. He has since missed 5 free throws in a row.
Good time to get hot here. First one's good.
Nothing but the bottom of the net. Yep.
3 in a row for Wildwood Catholic. Now Graves is going to take a seat. He's obviously, with the 4 fouls, he's obviously their main offensive weapon here tonight.
4:04 to play here in the basketball game, 34-29. Wildwood Catholic trails Atlantic City.
Robertson pure on the second, and we've got a ball game. 4-point Atlantic City lead with the basketball. 4 minutes to play here on opening night. Here's Reynolds to Shad, kicks it out. Thomas back to Reynolds. See where Atlantic City gets some offense without Graves on the floor. It's a turnover. Here comes McWade. Here come the Crusaders.
He got away with a double.
In the corner for Cook. Stare down. McWade between the circles to the paint. Spins. Up and under move and left-handed. Layup is no good. McWade gets his own rebound. He stepped on the out-of-bounds line, but the official missed that one. I mean, that was blatant.
Yes, that was blatant. And again, that was missed. And they got Freeman for the walk, 34-30, 3:33 to play in the game. Wildwood Catholic missing a golden opportunity to cut this 4-point lead to 2. They just cannot get over the hump.
Thomas is fouled by McWade. 34-30. We'll reset it for you with 3:22 to play. Normally I miss a lot of the calls, but that one there, his foot was on the C in Ocean City, and he didn't call him out of bounds.
Well, it's because he didn't see it. He didn't see the C.
He was in the C. He should have saw it. He's standing right there. Opening night. 34-30, Atlantic City with the ball.
Picks up 2 quick fouls. That was team 6th and team 7th. Kevin McWade now with 3. That's going to send to Shad Reynolds to the line, shooting a 1-and-1.
And Trey Smith into the game now.
And as we had said earlier, the Vikings 1 of 7 from the charity stripe. So free throw shooting with the lead, a 4-point lead with 3:16 to play.
Well, Gene Allen said it in the interview at halftime this morning on South Jersey Sports Report. Judge me in February. Don't judge me tonight. He's got some work he knows to do with this team. But they lead by 5 over one of the top teams in South Jersey. Second one, no good. Rebound comes down to Allen, and Atlantic City has it. 3 minutes to go here in the game. They have a 5-point lead. Thomas all the way to the basket. Left hand blocked away by Freeman. Maybe a little body there. Who's paying attention?
Yeah, they let that one go for a point of emphasis.
Freeman's 6'5", about 270, and he just crashed into Thomas, who went flying. But Atlantic City with the ball. 3 minutes to go. Allen at the top of the key. Swing pass. Reynolds, right of the lane. Kicks it all the way down for Allen with an easy layup. That's the easiest basket I think we've seen of the night.
And Reynolds did a good job. Got dribble penetration. Help side came to him.
Trey Smith for 3. Front rim, no good. Rebound, Nolan. Now he loses it to Smith. Smith to Cook. Cook on the baseline. Cook loses it and throws it all the way out to Robertson. He looked like he lost the handle and almost caught it in midair. Robertson kicks it out. Smith for 3. Good! And Trey Smith hits a 3, and the Crusaders call timeout. They trail by 4 with 2:25 to play. High school basketball here on 97.3 ESPN. Live video at 973ESPN.com.
With nearly 30 years of experience, David DeWeese is an attorney who has handled matters ranging from traffic violations to criminal defense, from business formation to complex insurance litigation. In every case, he provides effective representation and makes himself accessible to clients from start to finish. The DeWeese Law Firm understands that your legal matter, whether large or small, is vitally important to you. We are available to answer your questions, and we are responsive to your needs. The DeWeese Law Firm provides effective representation throughout South Jersey. Contact the DeWeese Law Firm now for your free initial consultation and make your next case a slam dunk at 609-522-5599 or visit our website at DeWeeseLawFirm.com.
Mike Hill, Buddy Tarbotton. Our opener here on 97.3, first of 24 we'll have for you on the air. Sixers basketball in progress when we leave this one. Scott Ewing pushing the buttons back at the studio, producing tonight's game. We got a good one, 37-33, Atlantic City with the lead in the ball. Nearly tipped away, and Atlantic City loose in backcourt. Now Wildwood Catholic's going to get the ball. Atlantic City thought it went off of a Catholic fingertip. It looked like a Wildwood Catholic player deflected it into the backcourt.
Well, I think if Press Row had the whistle over here, I think it would still be Viking basketball.
Smith with the ball, over to McWade. McWade snares it out of the air. Left hand all the way to the basket, and he threw it too hard. Dennis White, that's got to be his 15th rebound tonight. He's owned the glass. Hands off for Graves, who's back in the game with 4 fouls.
1:55 to play.
Thomas nearly turns it over. Now Graves, back to Thomas. He throws it out of bounds. Graves threw it out of bounds, and the Crusaders get the ball back with 1:47 to play in the basketball game.
Now all of a sudden, Wildwood Catholic is up their defensive pressure, extending their defense out, pressuring the Atlantic City guards, and have created 2 straight turnovers.
Robertson, and some body by Graves, and that's his 5th.
That's a big one.
Graves is fouled out of the basketball game with 1:38 to play. Isaiah Graves has fouled out with a 37-33 lead. Write that down and store it, because we'll see what happens to Atlantic City offensively and defensively. He's done a good job.
Absolutely. Isaiah Graves plays both ends of the floor. He's as good with his defensive prowess as he is offensively. He just wreaks havoc. He's a you can see why he was a key part of those last 2 state Group 4 championship teams. But as you said, he now checks out. He fouled out. He has 5, 1:38 to go. Jordan Robertson at the line. shooting 2.
First one is good, so Robertson's made 3 in a row after missing 6 straight. Braves ends the night with 8 points.
37-34, Wildwood Catholic trails.
Robertson second. And front rims it no good. Rebound comes down to Dennis White. Walking the ball up the floor is Tashad Reynolds. Reynolds leaves it for Thomas. Lamar Thomas crosses the timeline, gets it to Reynolds. Reynolds puts it on the floor and leaves it for White. White goes up, Allen goes up. He's fouled and it's good. So Kevin Allen, who has a bucket in each quarter to give him 9, gets a bucket and will go to the line.
That was just a great pass, too. A little high-low there. And Allen finishes it and draws the foul.
And makes the free throw. That's key, too.
Absolutely.
Atlantic City a 6-point lead. 40-34, Atlantic City leads Wildwood Catholic. 1:24 to play on 97.3 ESPN.
Are you dreaming about the Jersey Shore, summer sun, crashing waves, and the tram car? Ready to make those dreams a reality? Find your dream home at shorehomesnow.com. Let our real estate experts guide you through the buying or selling process. Expert advice, expert representation. Log on today, shorehomesnow.com. Making Jersey Shore dreams come true.
Wildwood Catholic trailing 40-34 here. They'll have the basketball with 1:24 left to play in the game. McWade has 2 points for Wildwood Catholic. Probably not how they drew it up. If I was to tell you he had 2 and they were down by 6 in this game still, you would probably think that was not true.
Or not, yeah, absolutely, or not even possible. And, give Coach Gene Allen and his staff and team credit because, again, Coach Allen told me before the game, Mike, that one of the keys was going to be taking Eddie McWade out of this game offensively. And that is the reason his team is up by 6 right now.
Robertson between the circles, looking for some room, gets it to Cook. Cook to McWade in the corner. McWade puts it on the floor, spins at the elbow, kicks it out to Smith. Trey Smith for 3, it's short, and Dennis White comes down with the rebound, and it's stolen away. McWade has it, McWade goes up and is fouled. So White just couldn't get the outlet pass out, and George Cook came in and stripped it away from White into McWade's hands. So now Ed McWade will get a pair here because the double bonus for Atlantic City now against Atlantic City, 10 team fouls. So Ed McWade, who's 0 for 1 from the line, will get 2. First one's no good, real long.
Eddie McWade now 0 for 3 from the foul line. Just a very frustrating opening night for the 6'4" senior. Already a 1,000-point scorer as he eclipsed that mark last season.
Second one is good, 40-35. 5-point lead, minute to go. Here we go. We'll see what Wildwood Catholic's strategy is. So they put the Vikings on the line. Now they're going to try to trap, and they get a steal. They get a steal off the trap. Here comes McWade down the center with the left-hand layup. No good. Rebound, Robertson. He misses. The ball is into the stands and out of bounds. It's going to stay with Wildwood Catholic. And Lamar Thomas doesn't care for the call. But Wildwood Catholic will get it as they miss a bucket in transition. With a 5-point deficit, they have the ball with 47.6 to go. Trey Smith now into the game. We got people walking off the street coming in to watch this game behind us here, buddy.
And that was an interesting transition there for Wildwood Catholic. Unable to score.
Yeah. See what they do. They get it to Smith. And Smith loses the handle. And Allen gets up the miss. Here comes Thomas. Over to Reynolds. Reynolds with a bounce pass down to White, who leaves it for Pavard, and Pavard with a layup, and that could be the nail in the coffin. 42-35. Robertson back the other way, and he fires up a shot. He'll go to the line. So a lot of frantic pace here, but Atlantic City gets an easy lay-in, and that might be the difference.
And Coach Gene Allen just not happy with that decision by one of his Viking defenders. They're going to call that on Jamal Pavard. It's going to be his 4th, and as you said, it's going to send Robertson to the line to shoot 2, but it could be too little, too late.
First one is good, so he's made 4 in a row from the line. Now, Wildwood Catholic did get a steal off that trap, but I would assume you got to start fouling right away now.
Absolutely. You do not have the time right now, definitely is not on their side. Robertson is able to knock this one down.
And he does. So Robertson's really cleaned it up from the line as Wildwood Catholic calls timeout. They trail by 6, 42-36 with 24.8 seconds left to go. This is high school basketball night on 97.3 ESPN.
And again, high school basketball tonight brought to you by Ulmer's Appliances. You can call Ulmer's Appliances at 523-0100 or 653-9888. Ulmer's Appliances, there to serve all of Atlantic and Cape May County.
You can watch, of course, the video online at 973ESPN.com. Matt Ulmer shooting the video, of course, tonight, and all of our 24 games this year on 973ESPN.com. Tomorrow here at the tip-off, Cedar Creek boys will play Willingboro. The St. Joe's girls will play Shawnee, followed by the St. Joe's boys playing Shawnee. St. Joe's look good in their win over Pleasantville. Ocean City girls against Mainland, and the Ocean City boys against Mainland. That's the schedule here tomorrow at tip-off weekend. Mike Gill and Buddy Tarbotten will be pairing up for a bunch of these games this year. If we get some games like this, some good finishes, should be a good season. There's a lot of anticipation for a bunch of these teams, and there's always a team that kind of emerges. We're wanting to see who that wild card team is this year.
Absolutely. There's always that one team that comes out and plays above. Yep, plays above what is expected.
Dennis White turns it over. McWade gets a steal, and he missed a chippy. He missed a chippy, and Robertson gets the rebound. 18 seconds to go. Robertson gets it in the corner, and Darby puts it on the floor. Darby puts it up, and the layup is good. So Darby into the game and gets a huge basket, but they killed about 10 extra seconds off the McWade steal and miss.
Absolutely, and that was, as you just said, not only did they kill about 10 seconds, that could have been the killer. A quick steal and a bucket right there within 2 seconds. You have over 20 seconds to go. You get that quick timeout. You're down 3. I mean, that's multiple possessions that evaporated off of the clock. Mike, multiple possessions evaporate when you lose that much time. That's a chunk of time. And now, Wildwood Catholic with 1 timeout left, 11.2 seconds to go. They trail by 3. Obviously, there's still a lot of time.
Well, and if you're picking a Viking, Dennis White has struggled at the line today, Ofer. And other than that, Atlantic City really has not been very strong from the line historically or tonight. So a quick foul here. And keep in mind, a foul by Wildwood Catholic will put them in the bonus, so they would get 2. 10 team fouls for Atlantic City, 9 for Wildwood Catholic. So a foul here would be 10, and Atlantic City will get 2 shots. Allen will inbound. Allen trying to find some help. Baseball pass, and it is stolen away by McWade. No, it's picked up by Pavard. McWade got a hand on it, kind of punched it forward, and Pavard, he punched it right to Pavard, and there's a foul. Dave DeWeese, the head coach at Wildwood Catholic.
Not happy with something, yes.
Well, it's not the worst scenario. Well, McWade kind of jumped in front of the baseball pass and kind of punched at it, and the ball went rolling on the floor forward right into the hands of Pavard. Now, Pavard's going to be at the line. He's got 5 points. He has yet to shoot from the free throw stripe.
And, Mike, if you were going to wrap this game up in a phrase, it would be Wildwood Catholic was a step slow all night. And right there was evident. Again, I mean, the Kevin McWade comes up with that big steal, can't get the layup with 20 seconds to go.
Here's Jameer
right
Pavard.
There, they had an opportunity to get a steal. They couldn't come up with it.
Pavard is good. Makes it a 2-possession game. So Pavard, the sophomore, steps to the line, can make it a 5-point lead. Second one is good. Jameer Pavard, perfect from the line. Inbound to Cook. Here comes Robertson. Robertson, right down the lane, cuts nice and good. So Robertson, with a second to go, gets one to fall.
And
10 points in the quarter for Robertson.
And Wildwood Catholic will call their last timeout. They're trying to get a little bit of time put back on the clock. Exactly 1 second left. And a Wildwood Catholic right now drawing up a, Coach DeWeese drawing up a miracle play. I mean, they need to actually steal, catch, and shoot in a second. And we've seen stranger things happen.
We have, but 1 second, and doesn't. Although the official is over at the scores table, we don't know what he's discussing. But I think 1 second is going to be basically what they're going to end up with here.
Well, they're probably discussing right now where they're going to go after the game. You know how?
Well,
they can't go any. Yeah, well, exactly. So they got to go over the bridge, into Summers Point, or who's got the coldest beer? Who has wing night?
There's a lot of options for that in Summers Point. You're right. 44-41, Atlantic City leads with the ball. 1 second left to go. Kevin Allen will inbounds for Atlantic City. Now, you could see a situation there where he just throws it out of bounds and no time to bump the clock.
Or to get a 5-second call.
That too. I mean, Allen, the last time baseball passed it, he could do that potentially and throw it over everybody's head.
And just let somebody tip it.
Here's Allen. He's going to run the baseline. He almost crossed the baseline there with a foul. And the clock rolled down to .2, and that is virtually going to be it. As Atlantic City is going to go to 2-0 to start this young basketball season, and Wildwood Catholic will open up their season, buddy, 0-1. And I would assume a little bit of a disappointing night for Wildwood Catholic here. They had some chances. Atlantic City didn't play their best game.
No, and Wildwood Catholic did have some opportunities and some chances. And there's, like I said, there's going to be many things. Their assistant coaches are a little upset. Something's going on over there in front of the Wildwood Catholic bench.
Yeah, they're not happy about something.
No.
Now they're putting some time on the clock.
Yeah, there's some verbal exchanges going on between the coaches.
1.1 is on the clock. Okay. This started with 1 second. Oh, wait, now there's 11 seconds. So obviously something's not right with the time here. They're trying to figure out what to do with the time. I don't know if the last play was supposed to have more time on it. And Gene Allen is kind of saying, hey, what's going on here? They're winding the clock down from 11 seconds.
Yeah, Gene Allen is not very happy. Oh, so
now they have 1.1 on the. The play didn't even start with 1.1. It started with 1 exactly. And somehow they added a tenth of a second.
Interesting.
Shot is no good. So Lamar Thomas is at the line, buddy, and he misses the first one. This is interesting because if he misses this one, although Wildwood Catholic has no timeouts left, so they're going to have to catch and really go, the length of the court here with a rebound. As Moretti enters the game.
Coach Gene Allen is still incensed.
He has some right to be, I guess.
Yeah. This is very interesting.
Lamar Thomas' second shot is no good. The ball is kicked up, and here comes the shot. It's going to be offline as Malcolm Darby shot from about the free throw line at the other end of the court, and it came off a little wide, but it looked like it was online at least. It had the distance anyway, but a little off to the right. And Atlantic City holds on tonight as they win it 44-41 here at the Ocean City PBA Tip-Off Weekend.
And again, as you were saying, a game that Wildwood Catholic did have an opportunity, if they would have played better, to maybe have an opportunity to win in this game. But Atlantic City, and you got to give credit to the Vikings too, Mike, because Atlantic City comes into this game and their defensive pressure, that's what they're known for. That's their staple, and they were able to really get in Wildwood Catholic's face, so to speak, and really pressure them, push Wildwood Catholic out of sync offensively, and the Crusaders could never get it going. Case in point, they couldn't. I don't know if Eddie McWade got a touch on either block. I don't know if he got the ball down low. He scored. The only time he was able to even have an opportunity to score is when he would spin drive or create his own shot going to the basket. He finishes with 3 points. only gets 5 shot attempts, and 2 of those were in the fourth quarter. So, very frustrating night for that senior. But that being said, Dennis White, the 6'5" senior for the Vikings, he played a very good game at both ends of the floor. He had 15 rebounds unofficially to lead all rebounders. And, he finished close to, I believe he had 8 points. And Dennis White did a good job, as did Isaiah Graves, the 6'2" senior. He also was a very, very key contributor in this Vikings victory.
Yeah, and it looks like Gene Allen's going to come over to the table here to talk to us here on 97.3 ESPN here on the opening night of the basketball season. Mike Gill and Buddy Tarbotten getting ready to get you the first game of many tonight on 97.3. And, of course, the head coach of the Atlantic City Vikings is Gene Allen. Well, Coach, I got to tell you, it wasn't pretty, but you figured out a way to get it done.
We did, Mike, and you're right, it wasn't pretty. And we're not a pretty team right now, so I'm just glad that we got out of here with a win tonight.
You said you're not a pretty team. I heard you this morning on the radio say, don't judge me today, judge me down the road, but you got to win against one of the best teams in South Jersey. What does that mean then?
It means we're very fortunate, that's all. We made so many errors down the stretch. We got to get better, and that's all I'm preaching right now, Mike. We just need to get better.
Coach, talking about the little things early in the season, one of the things that when we talked before the game, defensive pressure. You guys did a good job You did a good job offensively. You did not turn the ball over a lot. But defensively, whether your offense is there or not, the kids brought it tonight. They were able to really push Wildwood Catholic out of sync, and you got to be happy with the kids' defensive effort.
Well, buddy, I am. I'm very pleased. Last night, we couldn't guard a manhole cover, but tonight we came out and we really did a nice job of taking away what we thought were their weaknesses, were their strengths, and making them do their weaknesses, and it worked out well for us.
And again, we talked about that. One of the keys to the game, you said prior, was taking Eddie McWade, the 6'4" talented, he's already scored over 1,000 points. You said we need to take him out of their offensive repertoire, and you did that tonight. He took just 5 shots, did not get any touches where he likes to get the ball down low. He scored just 2 points. Talk about that, what your kids did.
Well, Dennis White is one of the better defenders, in my opinion, in South Jersey. He's long. Eddie's a lot stronger than he is. However, I think Dennis is a little more athletic, and he made it kind of difficult for Eddie to get his shots off. So Dennis came to play tonight, and I thought that the matchup between those two guys would be very critical, and we were fortunate enough to come out with the win tonight.
In closing, Coach, last year you had Deshaun if you kind of needed a bucket and you could kind of lean on him. Who do you hope develop to the guy that if you need buckets late that you can go to? Maybe not tonight, maybe not next week, but come February.
Well, I think Graves. Graves is the guy, but Thomas is coming on. If you've noticed, Thomas is not afraid to take big shots. And sometimes he's unconscious, which can be a bad thing at times. But I like the fact that he is aggressive enough to try to get to the rim. So between those two guys, I think, they're going to be our go-to guys as the season progresses.
And Thomas just a sophomore, correct?
True.
That he doesn't play like a sophomore, so that's a good point.
Right. At times he does. But you're right. In the clutch, he made some real quality decisions, and he got to the rim. And so the future looks very promising for the young man.
2-0 Atlantic City head coach Gene Allen. We thank you for your time, Coach, and
thank you for having me, both of you guys. Fantastic people. Thank you.
Good luck the rest of the way. I know you got some sweat tonight, but you're going to be sweating with this one. This team, you got some offensive stuff to work on here down the stretch, I'm sure. That'll be something he preaches. But the defense looked like midseason form.
Absolutely. And, again, as we know, Coach Gene Allen team is going to come out and they're going to play hard. They're going to give you, 32 minutes of chaos when you're in the other team trying to get in your offensive sets. And that's what the Vikings did tonight. And that was the difference. The Atlantic City, they did a great job on the boards, led again by Dennis White. 15 rebounds unofficially we had for the big 6'5" senior. And, Isaiah Graves, he fouled out, but you had said it earlier, Mike. Graves was all over the floor.
Yeah.
All over the floor. So it was a hard-fought game. It was a good game as far as two teams very talented going at each other. Was it the most purely played of basketball? No. But you know what? It's the high school level, and that's what makes these games so exciting and so much fun. That's why we had a packed gym, and that's why we enjoy coming out and broadcasting these games, because you know what? The kids, it's all about the kids.
17 for Jordan Robertson led the way for Wildwood Catholic. 10 points for Kevin Allen led the way for Atlantic City. Wildwood Catholic falls to 0-1. Atlantic City is 2-0. Mike Gill and Buddy Tarbotton. We will be giving you a full season of basketball, and the schedule will be posted at our website, 973ESPN.com. Well, first one's in the books, and we're looking forward to giving you a bunch more of the top games in the Cape Atlantic League and all over South Jersey this year. We'll be traveling all around Atlantic, Cape May, Cumberland, Salem, to Ocean County. We're going up to Ocean County for the first time this year to bring you St. Augustine taking on Southern Regional later on. So we'll be taking, if the top teams are playing, you'll hear it here.
And I heard when we go to Ocean County, the legendary Atlantic City Press sports writer Mike McGarry will be taking us out for somewhere to eat.
I heard he knows all the hot spots, and I heard he's got so much pull in Ocean County at Southern Regional. They have the Mike McGarry press section.
That would not surprise me.
Southern Regional, though, will be up there on that Saturday when they take on the Prep. Of course, for our producer back at the station, Scott Ewing, and Buddy Tarbotton, Matt Omer on the video tonight. I'm Mike Gill. Sixers basketball is up next here on 97.3. Good night, everybody.
What's that? Number 20, Brian Nolan.
I coached him in baseball. Brian Nolan.
Yeah, he was good. He was scrappy.